Hello, sixth grade students. Miss Saratella here, and I'm really excited to teach you today's fantasy writing lesson, which is about setting. So pay close attention because setting is very important in our fantasy stories. So today you are going to learn how fantasy writers can develop their settings by visualizing the places in their stories and thinking about how those places can affect the character. So your setting, just a reminder in case you forgot, is where your story takes place. Your setting tends to be either in the real world or in an imaginary world, or maybe even both. So in a lot of fantasy stories, you'll see that normally your character starts off in the real world, then something happens where they learn about the new imaginary world, and then they go. Sometimes we start in the imaginary world if there's a problem in our imaginary world, but normally you'll have multiple settings, where one might be the real setting and one might be your imagined setting. And finally, your setting can have an impact on your character, right? Setting can impact how your character acts. So for example, when I'm at home, I act differently than when I'm at school. When I'm at the park, I act differently than when I'm at the movie theater. So your setting has an impact on the way that your character acts or how they feel. So before we get started, I just quickly want to give you some examples, and I'm going to be using the mentor text, The Dragon at the Well, which you should have watched the video prior to this lesson, the read aloud, and it's all about the princess the dragon ends up meeting the prince, and the prince drinks from the well, and the dragon says, "I want your firstborn daughter." And he's like, "Fine, that's fine." And he drinks from the well, and then, remember, the dragon ends up taking the princess. So I pulled some settings from The Dragon at the Well that I thought were pretty important settings, and I wanted to show you how the author wrote those settings. So here's our first excerpt. 16 years went by. The princess's laughter filled the castle, and after the queen died, Marin was the only one who could make her father smile. One hot summer day, Marin was shooting arrows in a high-walled courtyard. Sweat trickled down her nose. Alone, except for a small brown owl, she removed her cap and let down her braids. Her father would disapprove, but he need never know unless owls could talk. What was an owl doing out in daylight anyway? There's a couple things here that help to develop our setting. So let's just start with the first one. One hot summer day. We can already visualize what it feels like, what the season is in our setting, and we know that they're at the castle. Sweat trickled down her nose. That's a really good sensory detail, right? That Marin is feeling the sweat and it trickles down her nose. That's very important for us to know because we're able to visualize what that setting is doing to our characters and how it feels, right? You could feel the stickiness of the hot summer day. And high-walled courtyard. That section helps to show us the physical place, right? That helps us picture in our heads what the physical place looks like. That's an example of how you can describe your setting. I'm going to show you one more example. Also from The Dragon at the Well. Marin went out to the courtyard to prepare for the archery contest. Curious, she tried the outer gate. It opened at her touch. Freedom was a footstep away. But what of honor? She turned back to the courtyard. The full moon provided light, while the abandoned stables supplied moldy bales. That's a hard one. I'm going to start over the paragraph. The full moon provided light, while the abandoned stables supplied moldy hay bales, grain sacks, and paint. Marin drew targets on the sacks, draped them over the hay, and hauled the bales out into the courtyard. Mice, disturbed from their peaceful homes, ran over her toes. So here, there's a couple things happening. We know right off the get-go that our setting is a large courtyard, right? They're going to be playing archery, so it helps us to visualize what the courtyard could look like, and we know it has to be spacious. Then we see in the next paragraph, the full moon provided light. That is another great sensory detail. You can picture the full moon, and normally when a full moon lets off light, there's a lot of light coming off from the moon. So we're able to know that there's a lot of light coming off the moon, and if there's light coming off of the moon, it's dark outside, so it's nighttime, which we may not have been able to pick up from prior to those sensory details. And lastly, if you read through that paragraph, there's a lot of little details that help us to visualize the setting. The hay bales, grain sacks, and paint, right? So I'm picturing it very rustic. It's kind of like what you would have on a farm, right? On a farm you have a lot of grain and hay bales, and it's an interesting sort of courtyard. It's more, it's not as royal as like the castle was. So we're in a very different sort of setting than the castle. The courtyard is proving to be a little bit dirtier, grittier. There's a lot of hay and mice. So now that you have some examples for setting, today you are going to think through the settings in your story and you're going to visualize them through drawing. So how can we visualize our settings? First, I just want to show you a couple examples. Here's some maps that some authors have drawn in the past. This bottom one is actually from Tolkien, who wrote The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings series. So a lot of authors like to draw their settings before they even write. So it helps you visualize what your setting is going to look like. So sketching is a great way for us to see our settings. Now that we have an idea for what our settings, like how we can brainstorm our settings, I want to show you how to do today's task. So you're going to be sketching some settings from your fantasy stories. So this is what it looks like in your digital notebook, and we're going to think about how to visualize our settings. This is going to be a little challenging because you're drawing using Google Docs. So it's going to be not the best drawing, but that's okay. We want you to try as best as we can. So the first activity is for you to sketch one of the scenes from your story using as much detail as possible. So in order to add a sketch, when you click in the box, you then go to Insert, Drawing, New, and then it creates, this is where you draw your image. So in order to draw, you need to click, there's a couple different options for how you could do this. So you can either draw lines. I like to go to Scribble. Scribble is what I like to use, so I would click Scribble. And then scribbling lets me draw any way that I want. So let's say I'm in a house. I could draw Miss Saratella's bad version of a house. And then if I wanted to click any of it, I can't click it with the Scribble. So instead, if you want to click something, you have to click the cursor select button in order to select things, and you can delete them. That helps you kind of click the drawings you've made. You can also insert text boxes. If you want to label things, you can insert images. You can insert, if you don't want to draw the way I drew, you can insert shapes. So you could do like a big rectangle, and then let's look and see if this is going to be a bigger, better house. I have a feeling it might be. Then I could scribble, right? I've got the people. Oh, I'm so bad at drawing stick figures on Google. This is an example. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. This is an example of how you can draw using the draw setting. Please know that sometimes you just got to play around with it. Like, look at how many times I'm trying to figure out how to use this. You need to be flexible, and your drawing is not going to be perfect, and that's okay. So, where's there? So you'll see that I already went through and I added some of my drawings because I didn't want you to see how horrible all of my drawings are. So the first one was use this space to sketch one of the scenes from your story. So my story is about this girl named Tessa who goes into a deli. She lives in New York. She goes to a deli. She wants some Sour Patch Kids. And all of a sudden, there's these witches in the deli, and it freaks her out. So this is Tessa going into the deli. I really thought it was important that my reader knew my setting was in New York City. So I'm trying to make it clear on the outside that this is a New York City deli. Your next activity is to choose a setting from your fantasy story to draw. So one is scene and one is setting. So your scene is more of like, this is a scene because Tessa, my character, is going into the deli, And we see the witches that are going to play, or fairies that are going to play an important role in my story in the windows. So it's more of like a scene. The next activity is asking you to sketch a setting. So later, after Tessa has found out about this fairy world, she goes into a forest and she goes to a house in the forest. This is the house that I drew in the forest. I did use the draw scribble option for this, so it took me a while, but I'm pretty pleased with it. So what you're doing today in your writing notebooks is you're trying out the draw function as best as you can, and you're sketching a scene from your story and a setting from your story. We know they're not going to be perfect, and that's okay. Just remember that when you go to draw, you need to go to Insert, then Draw, and then in that box you can draw your sketch. This is meant to be really fun for you. You want to be thinking through these settings so that your story can be as best as it can be. So really make sure you spend some time brainstorming, imagining, getting creative with your settings so that when you go to write your setting, you know exactly how you want to write it and what you want it to look like in your head. Have fun with this lesson, and please let us know if you have any questions. Good luck, 6th graders.